On the day my wife's lawyer thought she'd trapped me for life, I was the only one in the room who knew that piece of paper on our kitchen table was going to destroy her future, not mine. Back then, Hannah was still my person. Or at least I thought she was. She slid the Postnup across the table like it was a coffee receipt, leaned back in her chair, and folded her arms. Sign it. If you aren't planning to cheat, this won't matter. That sentence alone probably tells you a lot about where this is going. My name's Aaron. I'm 34 now, but this started when I was 31, married 5 years, no kids yet, normal life. I manage IT projects for a logistics company in Chicago. Nothing glamorous, no private jets, but we had a small brick bungalow, decent savings, 2 cars that actually started in winter. I thought we were doing okay. Hannah worked in marketing at a tech firm downtown. Smart, funny, charismatic. The kind of person who could walk into a room full of strangers and walk out with 3 new best friends. I'm the quiet one, the planner, the guy making sure the bills are paid and the oil gets changed on time. We had our issues, sure. Every couple does. But we fought fair, made up, ordered takeout, watched Netflix. At least, that's what I believed. Then she found out her coworker's husband cheated. That's when everything changed. For 3 weeks straight, our house turned into a podcast about infidelity. Every article, every TikTok, every storytime video, she consumed all of it, then dumped it in my lap. Did you know most men who cheat never admit it? While we brushed our teeth. Do you think people are ever really satisfied in monogamy? While I was trying to figure out what to cook for dinner. At first, I thought she was just shaken by what happened to her friend. I tried to be patient, tried to reassure her. I'm not him. I go to work, I come home. There's no secret life. She'd nod, but the worry never left her face. Anxiety is like mold. Once it finds a crack, it spreads everywhere. Then one Sunday afternoon, she sat me down at the table like she was about to break up with me. I talked to a lawyer about a post-nuptial agreement. My brain stalled. A postnup. She pushed a folder across the table. A thick packet of legalese with our names on it. It's simple. If you ever cheat on me, you lose the house, the savings, and you agree to full custody to me if we have kids. No argument, no drama. We just follow the contract. She said it like she was asking me to take out the trash. I skimmed the first page and my chest got tight. It really did say that if I committed adultery, I forfeited my share of the house, the accounts, everything we'd built. It even had a line about consenting to the non-cheating spouse's request for primary custody, all aimed in one direction, at me. Where's the part about you? She frowned. What do you mean? The part where you lose everything if you cheat. This is all about what happens if I mess up. What if you're the one who screws up? I roll. Deep sigh. This is about protecting myself, Aaron. Men cheat more. Everyone knows that. I just want something in writing so I know I'm not going to get abandoned with nothing. If you're not planning to cheat, why does it bother you? That line, if you're not planning to cheat, why do you care? Is emotional blackmail dressed up as logic. But when it's coming from the person you love, it's hard to see it that way. Hey, before I go on, if you like these long, messy real-life stories where people show you who they really are, make sure to drop a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Back to the disaster. I did what a lot of scared husbands would do. Tried to reason with her. Suggested counseling. She said therapy was expensive. Suggested we give it some time. She said time was exactly what her coworker gave her husband. And look how that turned out. So I called my friend Daniel. Daniel is one of those guys who always seems slightly amused by everything. Corporate lawyer, lives in contracts and fine print. Not family law, but close enough. We met for lunch near my office. I handed him a copy of the Postnup. He read it twice, quietly. The longer he stayed silent, the tighter my stomach got. Finally, he set the papers down. Okay, first, I hate this. Because it's unfair. Because it's stupid. If she thinks this will stop someone who really wants to cheat, she's delusional. All it does is put a gun to your head. A very expensive gun. He tapped the page. But she already went to a lawyer. If I refuse, she'll take it as proof I'm planning something. He thought for a second, then gave me a look I've seen him use on opposing counsel. What if you don't refuse? What if you sign with one change? He circled the main infidelity clause. Right now this says, if husband engages in adultery. Switch that to if either spouse engages in adultery. And add the cheating spouse forfeits. Same consequence, applied to both. I stared at him. Do you really think she'll go for that? If this is really about fairness and protection, she should have no problem. If it's about control, she'll show her hand. I went home that night with a knot in my stomach and Daniel's notes in my pocket. Hannah was on the couch with her laptop when I walked in, some show playing in the background, wine glass half empty on the coffee table. Did you talk to your friend? Still looking at the screen. Yeah. He went through the agreement. She muted the TV and turned fully toward me, eyes sharp. And he says it's fine, as long as we tweak one thing. Jaw tightening. What thing? I sat across from her, laid the paper between us, and pointed to the sentence Daniel had circled. Right now this only applies if I cheat. I want to change it to if either spouse engages in adultery, the cheating spouse forfeits. The rest stays exactly the same. Her expression flickered so fast, if I hadn't been watching closely, I might have missed it. Just a flash of something that looked a lot like panic before she smoothed it over. Why would we change it? I'm not going to cheat on you. Exactly. And I'm not going to cheat on you either. So it shouldn't matter which name is in that sentence, right? We just make it fair. Silence stretched between us. You could hear the fridge humming in the kitchen, a car passing outside. She stared at the line like it might bite her. If you insist on changing it, it feels like you don't trust me. That one stung. I trust you enough to put my entire net worth in your hands if I mess up. I'm just asking you to stand next to me instead of behind a shield. Same risk, same consequence. She looked away, took a sip of wine, then exhaled. Fine. Change the wording. As long as my lawyer signs off, I don't care. That should have made me feel better. But as I watched her eyes flick back to her laptop, something cold settled in my chest. Why did it take that long to agree to something supposedly not about her? A week later, the revised Postnup came back from her lawyer. My one line was in there. If either spouse engages in adultery. No one crossed it out. No one rewrote it to be more vague. They left it. We signed at the firm's conference table. A notary stamped everything. Hannah's attorney smiled like she'd just secured her client front row tickets to my financial execution. On paper, if either of us cheated, the cheater lost the house, the savings, and any chance at primary custody. In Hannah's mind, though, it still only applied to me. You could see it in the way she walked out of that building, lighter, almost smug, like she'd just installed a trapdoor under my feet. What she didn't realize was that she'd climbed out onto the same rotten wood. For a while after that, things seemed calm. Almost too calm. Hannah stopped talking about cheating statistics. Stopped sending me links. Stopped interrogating me when I was 5 minutes late from work. We went out more. She bought new clothes. Joined a gym near her office. Started using phrases like self-care and finding my confidence again. I wanted to believe that was a good sign. Then the late night started. At first it sounded innocent. We've got a big campaign launch. I'll be home after 9. The team's going out for drinks. It'd be weird if I skipped. She'd come home smelling like expensive perfume that wasn't hers and hotel bar air. That mix of alcohol and stale HVAC. With stories about brainstorming sessions that somehow always involved the same colleague. Tyler. Her work friend. The one she had somehow never mentioned before the Postnup. At first, I told myself not to be paranoid. I didn't want to be that husband. The one who starts accusing his wife of affairs because she discovered Pilates and a new lipstick. But then one night, while she was in the shower, her phone lit up on the kitchen counter. Preview on the lock screen. Tyler. Same hotel as last time. Rooms booked winking face. My heart stopped. In that moment, one very clear, very dangerous thought formed in my mind. The contract works both ways. That's where everything really began. I didn't throw her phone at the wall. Didn't storm into the bathroom. Didn't scream. I just stared at that one-line preview like it was a bomb someone had left on my kitchen counter. Tyler. Same hotel as last time. Rooms booked winking face. Same as last time. Which meant this wasn't a one-off mistake. This was a routine. The shower water was still running. I picked up her phone, took a picture of the lock screen with mine, slipped it back exactly where it had been, and sat down at the table. Heart pounding, but mind weirdly calm. There are two kinds of people when they find out they're being cheated on. The ones who explode immediately, and the ones who go very, very quiet. I went quiet, because in the back of my mind, something heavy had just clicked into place. If either spouse engages in adultery, her lawyer had signed off on that line. She had signed off on that line. And if I played this wrong and lost my temper now, I'd hand her a dozen excuses. He's abusive. He's unstable. He scared me. No. If she was going to blow up our life, I was going to make sure the blast radius landed exactly where the contract said it would, on the cheating spouse. She came out of the shower in a towel, humming, scrolling her phone like nothing had happened. Tyler texted, I said, watching her face. Instant stiffening. About what? Work thing. I lied. You've mentioned him a lot lately. Her shoulders lowered a fraction. He's just on my team. Relax. She walked past me to the bedroom. Casual, but I saw the way her fingers tightened around the phone. I didn't push. That night she fell asleep, facing the wall, phone under her pillow. I lay there staring at the ceiling, going over everything in my head. The postnup, the change in wording, the late nights, the sudden interest in protecting herself. This wasn't about her friend's cheating husband. She'd been priming the story, painting me as the potential villain so that when she became the actual villain, people would already be on her side. The next morning, I called Daniel. Don't confront her yet, he said immediately after I told him about the text. Get proof. Real proof. You don't want maybe in court. You want roll the footage your honor proof. I have the postnup, I said. Is that enough? It's enough if you can prove adultery clearly, he said. The judge is going to ask, did she cheat? Yes or no? We want a stack of evidence tall enough that even her lawyer can't twist it. How do I even get that? He was quiet for a second. Do you really want to know? He asked. Yes. Then stop thinking like a husband for a minute, he said, and start thinking like the guy who wrote that clause. Step 1. Phone records. I didn't try to break into her phone. That's a quick way to land yourself in legal trouble. But our phone plan? That was in my name. I logged into the carrier portal at work during lunch. Pulled up her number. What I saw made my stomach turn. Hundreds of texts and calls to the same number, Tyler. Daily. Late nights. Weekends. Sometimes 10 calls in a row at midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. You don't call your coworker at 2 in the morning because the marketing deck is running late. I downloaded the records as PDFs, emailed them to myself. Step 2. Find the hotel. I went back to that lock screen photo. Zoomed in. The message preview had a line above it. The Drake, downtown. Your reservation is confirmed. I'd missed it the first time, focused on the emoji. There it was. The exact hotel. I called Daniel again. You're sure about this? He asked. What about the hotel? About where this is going. Once we start, there's no going back to maybe we can fix this. I thought about the postnup she'd shoved in my face. If you're not planning to cheat, this won't matter. I thought about every late night, every brush off, every time she'd made me feel like I was crazy for noticing things. I'm sure, I said. Okay, he said. Then you need a private investigator who knows how to deal with hotels. Enter Marcus. He wasn't in a trench coat. No fedora. Just a tired-looking guy in his 40s with a laptop bag and eyes that had seen way too many dirty secrets. We met in a small office that smelled like burnt coffee. I'll be upfront, he said. Spousal infidelity is 90% of my work. You won't be my first. You won't be my last. Tell me the hotel, the name, the days she usually works late. I handed him everything. Phone records, approximate days, the hotel name. He looked impressed. You did half my job already. Can you actually get video? I asked. Like, from the hotel? He shrugged. Sometimes. They usually don't just hand it over to a random guy, but there are ways. Security mistakes. Subpoenas. Staff with grudges. Worst case, we get photos of them going in and out together. How long will it take? As long as it takes, he said. But if she's as predictable as she looks from these phone logs, we might not have to wait long at all. We didn't. 3 days later, Hannah mentioned client drinks again. Same script. Don't wait up, it might go late. This time, I just kissed her cheek and said, have fun. Be safe. She left in a black dress I'd never seen before. New perfume. Hair done like she was going to a photo shoot. The second the door closed, I texted Marcus. Tonight. She's out. He replied with a thumbs up. And then I waited. That might have been the longest night of my life. Every time a car passed outside, my heart jumped. Every time my phone buzzed, my hands shook. It was almost 1 a.m. when Marcus finally called. Got her, he said. My voice was dry. You're sure? She walked into the Drake at 8:47 p.m. with a guy who matches Tyler's description, he said. No work bag, no laptop, no presentation materials. Just an overnight bag and hands all over each other. My stomach flipped. You see them leave? Not yet, he said. But here's the part you're going to like. That hotel had a data breach last year. Their camera archives are stored, let's say, less securely than they should be. I'm already pulling footage. You'll have them in the lobby, in the elevator, and leaving the same room floor together. I didn't speak. Aaron, Marcus said, do you want me to stop? No, I said. Keep going. He paused, then added, I'm sorry, man. Don't be. I said. She started this when she made me sign that contract. Hannah stumbled in a little after 3 a.m. I was asleep on the couch. She smelled like hotel bar again. Her makeup was smudged at the edges. Her shoes were in her hand. How late did the client drinks go? I asked, eyes half open. She froze for a millisecond, then recovered. Very, she said. We were celebrating. Big deal closed. In a hotel? She laughed lightly, too quickly. The bar, Aaron. Chill. I'm exhausted. I'm going to bed. I watched her walk down the hall. I could have confronted her right then. Could have thrown it all in her face. The texts, the hotel, the PI. Instead, I lay there and memorized how it felt to be lied to by someone who thought I was still in the dark. Because I knew this was the last time she'd ever get away with it. Over the next week, Marcus delivered everything. Time-stamped lobby video of Hannah and Tyler checking in together. Footage of them kissing in the elevator, thinking they were alone. Records showing the room was booked in Tyler's name, paid with his card, but the contact email was Hannah's. Additional dates matching phone logs going back 2 months. Daniel nearly whistled when he saw it all. This is overkill, he said, flipping through the stills. Judges don't usually get video of the affair. Just texts and hotel receipts. This is like HD stupidity. It needs to be airtight, I said. Her lawyer is going to try to spin it. Her lawyer put the gun on the table, he said, tapping the Postnup. We're just pointing out who pulled the trigger. He reorganized the stack into 3 neat piles. The contract, with the crucial line highlighted. If either spouse engages in adultery. The pattern, phone records, work nights, money moved from our joint account the same nights she worked late. The proof, hotel footage, printed stills, Marcus's report. This is enough to do real damage, he said. But you get one shot at the surprise. The moment you confront her, everything changes. She'll run to her lawyer. She'll spin a story. You sure you don't want to separate quietly first? I thought about that for a long second. Then I shook my head. She didn't separate quietly when she made me sign that Postnup, I said. She looked me in the eye and basically said, I own you if you ever mess up. She wanted a performance. So what's your plan? He asked. I pictured Hannah's face when she'd pushed that contract across the table the first time. If she likes performances, I said, we'll give her one. Step 1 was practical. Move anything I didn't want her touching. I didn't do anything shady. I didn't hide assets. That would bite me later. But I did. Open my own separate checking account and redirect my paycheck there. Make copies of all our joint account statements. Scan the deed to the house, car titles, our retirement accounts. Move my personal heirlooms and documents, stuff from my dad, old photos, my passport, into a safe deposit box. Step 2 was emotional, detach. I stopped asking about her day. Stopped fighting when she worked late. Stopped reaching out. If she noticed, she didn't show it. Or she chalked it up to me being cold. Good. Cold was exactly what I needed to be. Step 3 was timing. I waited until 3 things lined up. Another client drinks night. All documents printed and neatly organized. A meeting on the court calendar that Daniel had set up to confirm the enforceability of the Postnup. Then, one Thursday afternoon, Hannah texted me. Big pitch tonight. Going to be late. Don't wait up. I stared at the message for a moment. Then I typed back. Actually, I think we should have dinner together. There's something important we need to talk about. A few dots. Can't tonight. This is really important for my career, Aaron. Why are you being clingy now? I let that sit. Didn't respond. 10 minutes later. Fine. Tomorrow? I'll make that pasta you like. I replied. Tomorrow's perfect. Let's eat at 7. And as I hit send, one clear thought cut through all the noise. Tomorrow is the day I stop being scared of the contract she made me sign. Because tomorrow, I'd be handing it back to her. With a copy of her smiling in a hotel elevator, holding the hand of the man who just cost her everything she thought she'd locked down. That dinner was the last one we ever had as husband and wife. She made pasta. Like nothing was wrong. Like she hadn't been sneaking to a hotel with her work friend and then coming home to lecture me about trust. Garlic, tomatoes, soft music. If you squinted, It looked like any normal Friday from the old days. I wasn't hungry. I was done. She slid me a plate, poured herself a big glass of wine and a smaller one for me. Her usual, "I want control of this conversation" setup. "You're quiet," she said. "Long week." "Yeah," I said. "Long week. Important conversation too." Her eyes flickered, 1 second of worry. Then she put the mask back on. "If this is about the contract again," she sighed. "We already talked about it. You signed the postnup, Aaron. It's done. Can we please just move on?" I almost laughed. "Funny," I said, "because this is exactly about the postnup. And moving on." I put a folder on the table. Same type she'd used the night she slid that contract at me and said, "If you're never going to cheat, what are you afraid of?" She frowned. "What is that?" "Our marriage," I said. "On paper." She rolled her eyes. "You're being dramatic." I ignored that. "What does the word either mean?" I asked. She blinked. "What? Either?" I repeated. "As in, if either spouse engages in adultery, the cheating spouse waives all rights to the marital home, primary savings, and spousal support." Her fork froze. "That's not what it said," she snapped. I opened the postnup to the highlighted paragraph and turned it toward her. "Read it." She leaned in. Her lips moved over the line. You could see the exact moment her brain tripped on the word. Either spouse. Not husband. Not if Aaron cheats. Either spouse. "When did that change?" she whispered. "After your lawyer sent the draft that said if the husband engages in adultery," I said. "My lawyer sent one small edit. One word. Either. Your lawyer approved in writing. You signed." I signed. Notary stamped it. "That's not what I meant," she said, voice shaking. "It was about you. It was to protect me if you ever." "Contracts don't care what you meant, Hannah," I said. "They care what you signed." Her face hardened. "You tricked me," she said. "This is manipulative." "You brought me a loaded gun," I said calmly. "I just made sure it wasn't welded to my forehead." Before she could fire back, I slid the next page out of the folder. Phone records. Her number and Tyler's, highlighted, especially the calls between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. I pulled our phone logs. I said, "You talk to your coworker more than you talk to your husband. And unless your company started scheduling strategy meetings at 2 a.m. Wow," she cut in, giving a shaky laugh. "You really went full stalker. I don't have to explain my friendships to." The hotel stills hit the table. Drake Hotel lobby. Her in that black dress. Tyler's hand on her lower back. Her smile vanished. A hotel bar doesn't mean. "Next," I said. Tyler at the front desk, card out. Hannah behind him with an overnight bag. "That could be." "Elevator," I said. Third image, elevator camera. Tyler's hands on her waist. Her arms around his neck. Mid-kiss. She didn't say anything this time. Her eyes filled instantly. "Aaron, where did you get this?" "Private investigator," I said. "Marcus." He also pulled the booking records. Room in Tyler's name. Your email on the confirmation. You go up together. You leave together at 3:12 a.m. Same floor. Same elevator. Different hair. She grabbed onto the only thing she could. "You went to a PI instead of just talking to me?" she snapped. "Do you know how creepy that is? Creepier than cheating on your husband and then making him sign a document that ruins him if he ever does it." I asked. She sank into her chair. "It was a mistake," she said quickly. "It happened a couple of times. It didn't mean anything. I was lonely. You've been distant. You're always working." "Stop," I said. "You didn't care why I might cheat when you shoved a postnup in my face. You just wanted consequences. You made the rules. You broke them." She started crying for real now. "What are you going to do?" she whispered. "Take everything? Leave me with nothing?" "I'm going to do exactly what you promised you'd do if I messed up," I said. "Enforce the contract." "You can't," she said desperately. "Postnups get thrown out all the time." "My lawyer said." "Your lawyer said unfair postnups get thrown out," I said. "You requested this one. Your lawyer drafted it. Mine changed one word to make it mutual. Everyone had time. Everyone signed." I closed the folder. "Tomorrow I'm moving into the guest room," I said. "My lawyer files on Monday. Adultery, per the postnup. Don't move money. Don't delete anything." "You're going to throw away our marriage over a few mistakes?" she hissed. "Our marriage died," I said, "the day you decided I was a threat you needed papers against instead of someone you could talk to." On my way out of the kitchen, she choked out, "Aaron, please. I'll block him. Counseling. I'll prove it. We can fix this." "Funny," I said. When you thought I might cheat someday, you didn't want to fix anything. You wanted a payout. I'm just doing what you taught me. I slept like a baby in the guest room. 6 weeks later, we were in front of a judge. Her lawyer argued emotional duress, unequal power. Evil husband slipped in a word she didn't understand. My lawyer, Daniel, slid the email chain across. Original clause: if the husband engages in adultery. My lawyer's reply: we suggest either spouse for fairness. Her lawyer's reply: approved. Judge Ramirez read it, then looked at Hannah. Mrs. Carter, she said. Why did you want this contract? I was scared he'd cheat, Hannah said. I wanted security. And you thought it was fair, the judge said, that if he cheated, he'd lose the house and savings. But if you did, nothing would happen? Hannah stared down at her hands. I didn't think I'd ever cheat. The judge sighed. Unfortunately, you did, she said. And we have hotel video of you with Mr. Rivera. That meets the legal definition. Her lawyer tried the no proof what happened in the room line. The judge literally shook her head. Counsel, she said, I am not stupid. Nor is the law. She read the clause out loud. If either spouse engages in adultery, the cheating spouse waives all claim to the marital home, primary joint savings, and any future claim to spousal support. Then she looked at Hannah. This language is clear. You asked for this sword when you thought it would only ever hang over your husband's neck. Your attorney was competent. You signed. Now you're shocked that it cuts both ways. It's not fair, Hannah whispered. What's not fair, the judge said, is trying to set up a one-sided punishment and then crying unfair when you're the one who breaks the rule. If these hotel photos were of Mr. Carter with another woman, you'd be begging me to enforce this agreement. She turned to me. Mr. Carter, you're asking the court to enforce the postnuptial as written? Yes, Your Honor. Then, she said, the court upholds the postnuptial agreement. The marital home remains with Mr. Carter. The primary joint savings remain with Mr. Carter. No spousal support is awarded. Mrs. Carter will keep her own car, any accounts in her name, her retirement, and the lump sum her husband has voluntarily offered to help her relocate. She glanced at Hannah. That last part is generosity, she added. Not a requirement. Gavel. Done. In the hallway, Hannah caught up to me. You really hate me that much? She asked, eyes red. To leave me like this? You're not helpless, I said. You've got a job, a car, retirement, a clean record. You're walking away with more than you planned to leave me with if I cheated. I made a mistake, she said. One mistake. You made a decision, I said. Several times. At a hotel. And years ago, when you wrote a contract that nukes whoever cheats. You just never thought your name would be on that line. Tears spilled down her cheeks. I'm sorry, she whispered. I believe you, I said. But I don't have to stay married to you for that to matter. I walked away. She didn't follow. 2 years later, I don't live in that house anymore. I sold it, not out of pain, but because it was too big for one person. I bought a smaller place, started therapy, learned the difference between I was betrayed and I'm unlovable. From what I've heard, Hannah rents a small apartment. Tyler never left his wife. The great soulmate she risked everything for didn't even think she was worth a divorce. Her friend Monica left me a voicemail about how I ruined Hannah for one mistake. I deleted it without finishing. Because here's what I finally learned. People who love harsh consequences when they're pointing at you always scream unfair the second those same consequences point back at them. I'm with someone new now. No postnups. No loyalty tests. No sign this so I know you're serious. We protect each other by talking, not by calling a lawyer. Do I regret adding that one word? No. I regret that I needed it. But I don't regret refusing to drown just because she decided to jump. The contract didn't ruin her life. Her choices did. The postnup just made sure she couldn't take me down with her. What do you think? Was I wrong for using the postnup she forced on me against her? Would you ever sign something that gives your partner everything if you mess up, or insist on one for them? Let me know in the comments. And if you stayed to the end, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe for more real-life stories.